We are all changing. That's the nature of life, isn't it? Every single second of every single day, you are becoming someone that is going to be vastly different from the next, all throughout time. And somewhere along the way, I forgot that. I've forgotten who I was because I've been so wrapped up in the person I want to be. And you know what? He's always going to escape. He's always going to be slipping through my fingers. But I've learned one thing chasing him all these years, and that's this. I will never forget who I once was. That boy who talked to his Cthulhu thing, or the kid who played Cards Against Humanity, or the guy who talks about wrestling way more than he needs to for his own good. I will always be proud of those guys, and I will always be proud of what I've done. I'll never forget that. Not one day, not 1 hour, not 1 minute. Even if I'm always going forward, I will never forget the backwards that once was my life. Jesus fuck, you still talk? Shush, shush. Enough meta shit for one episode. I don't need to fucking go into that any further. Dummy. I'm glad you're back, old friend of mine. Red Dead Redemption! Pew 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 pew. Oh, happiest of days! Amidst the bullshit dumpster fire that was 2016, you know, with David Bowie and Alan Rickman dying, North Korea going to war with us again, and Donald fucking Trump becoming the leader of the United States, I have found one single beacon of light in the darkness, my friends. Red Dead Redemption 2 has been announced. Girl, yes! Rockstar Games managed to shake the gaming world in 3 days. Day 1, a red background. Day 2, 7 silhouettes in the sunset. And of course, Day 3, the reveal of the most anticipated sequel in the last 6 years. Ladies and gentlemen, the hype train has officially left the station. Chew fucking chew. Wait a minute, did you just say you haven't played Red Dead Redemption, one of the greatest open-world cowboy simulators ever? Gah! I am just shocked. I do declare hurt, even. Red Dead Redemption is probably one of the most enjoyable video game experiences I have ever had next to Halo 3. But it seems you don't get that, you uncultured traveler. Now, if you'll excuse me, why don't you mosey on down to this fine spectacle of a review that is Red Dead Redemption. I don't really need to tell you anymore. As I said before, it was one of the greatest experiences in video games I've ever had next to Halo 3. You can go now. Red Dead Redemption is an open-world Western action-adventure video game developed by Rockstar San Diego and published by Rockstar Games. The game was met with phenomenal reviews and high praise, and is currently considered to be one of the greatest video games to be released in probably the last 10 years. Now, to me, I reserve praise like that to only a few sets of games, like anything that Bethesda usually makes, but Rockstar. Fucking Rockstar is a company that will knock it out of the park always, but oh my god, Red Dead Redemption. That is a whole nother level of excellence. So with that, let's go back to the Old West by singing ourselves a ditty. A golden oldie little ditty. The Ballad of John Marston. Set during the decline of the American frontier in the year 1911, the story follows John Marston, a former outlaw whose wife and son are taken hostage by the government and ransomed for his services as a hired gun. Having no other choice, Marston sets out to bring 3 members of his former gang to justice. Now, the storyline of Red Dead Redemption will take you all over a vast countryside that straddles the border between the US and Mexico. Along the way, you'll meet, help, and murder alongside a fantastic cast of characters as Marston attempts to set the record straight, so to speak. With top-notch dialogue and voice acting, trust me when I say they are able to make you feel immersed in the world. Honestly, I would go so far as to say, looking back, this feels a lot like one of Tarantino's recent spaghetti western flicks. Of course, it takes inspiration from the Dollars trilogy and a few other well-known western films, but I could see Quentin doing some shit like this. Now, as much as one could say that the writing is better than perfect, I could maybe find one eensy-weensy tiny Hansel and Gretel thing wrong with it. And it really is this. At times when in the action, John Marston has a tendency to not give a fuck during the action. Divorced almost from it. But then again, you are put in the shoes of a rather neutral, former outlaw turned straight lawman whose motivation could be chalked up to, "I'm being made to do this!" Now, going through that story will take you a long time, being that this is a Rockstar game, and in case you weren't aware, Rockstar games are synonymous with the art of the open world sandbox game. Along the way, you will definitely find yourself herding cattle, hunting bounties, treasure hunting, or sharpshooting. Hell, even poker is a minigame in the world of Red Dead Redemption. There are hundreds of side quests in Red Dead Redemption, so much so it's gonna take you months to finish everything if you wanted to. But if you're like me, someone who flops from game to game easily, you're not finishing this for a while. Oh man, you guys, I am so excited. Never in my life would I expect to experience the Old West in Grand Theft Auto form. This is gonna be so amazing. And on top of that, if you manage to finish everything in the single player, you still got multiplayer, bitch. I gotta be honest with you people. Red Dead Redemption's multiplayer was and still is to me one of the best multiplayer experiences I've ever had next to Grand Theft Auto and Halo 3. Especially free roam, which honestly to me is the reason to keep coming back. Almost like an open multiplayer lobby of sorts where 16 players could join in and explore the Old West together. Like sure, you've got your Mexican standoffs and your zombie hordes to fight and undead overrun, but frankly in my opinion, free roam could just be a game on its own. Hell, I'd still play it if anyone played the game anymore. It's just as dead as John Marston. Oh shit, I almost went into spoiler territory there. So, tangent otherwise, it still shocks me, and it's still very weird to know that game developers haven't really tapped into the Old West. So many possibilities, so many stories you could dive into, whether it be robbing a train, getting into a standoff at the old saloon, or even shooting your way through the LeQuint Dickey gang with your 6-shooter. So many things to do. And video games, you let Rockstar ride that cash cow into the sunset. I would have loved to see an entire genre of Old West games. Sure, you got games like Call of Juarez and Gun, but let's be honest with ourselves here. Are they competitors to what Rockstar did to make the Old West cool again? Now, some of you could say that Red Dead Redemption feels like a Grand Theft Auto game set in the Old West, and you know what? You would definitely be on the right path. Many of the same elements created in the Grand Theft Auto universe exist here, included extended conversations during rides to the next mission and the layout of the minimap. GTA fans will feel at home knowing that that exists. Though, they will find improvements to the formula in things like better checkpoints and mission replay systems. I gotta say though, Red Dead Redemption probably has one of my favorite game mechanics in video game history. Deadeye. Deadeye targeting is a game mechanic that slows down time to allow the player to get more accurate shots on enemies. After marking targets, normal time resumes and a ton of bullets are released from your gun in quick succession. Now while Red Dead Revolver was the game that introduced Deadeye mode, Redemption perfected it, and oh my god, it could be badass. Walking into an area and just obliterating a gang with Deadeye is the most satisfying thing I've ever experienced. Ironically enough, the same feeling you'd get by pulling off a good high noon in Overwatch. Holy shit, guys, I'm calling it right now. McCree is just a ripoff of John Marston. I'm going to Twitter. Justice for John Marston. Cowboy lives matter. There, that'll get the people talking. That's not the point, Little Thulu. It's the principle of the thing. Video game characters are built from the ground up, and they are made based on dozens of men and women who... Donkey Kong and King Kong. Fucker, you know Universe wanted that DK Nintendo money, dude. Now, the one thing I'm gonna make very clear about Red Dead Redemption is this. It is probably one of, if not the prettiest looking games I have seen on the Xbox 360. The art direction in itself is on point, using the right amount of reds to make the hills and valleys come to life. While it may not be as polished as other Rockstar titles, the animations are pretty realistic, whether it be a horse galloping or a body dangling from said horse, even when you shoot a bandit's hat and it flies off. That is pretty awesome and provides a smooth experience. That, coupled with the soundtrack of Red Dead, really does make the game something special. I read something online that Red Dead Redemption's score by Bill Elm and Woody Jackson can be labeled as if Ennio Morricone's music had a baby with Nick Cave and Warren Ellis's music, and was raised by Quentin Tarantino. I think that could sum it up very well. A gritty cowboy baby. There's a somber yet adventurous feeling that comes with the soundtrack of Red Dead Redemption. It's got that grit of the Old West while still providing the feeling of riding off into the sunset not knowing what tomorrow is gonna bring. Now, of course, with every soundtrack, I gotta pick one song that stands out the most, and honestly, Dead Man's Gun takes it. That, of course, is where the Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds vibe comes into play, and frankly, it's just a really good song. Honestly, everything about this game, every element is vital to what makes the game whole. With Red Dead Redemption, Rockstar has taken the Western genre to new heights, and probably created one of the deepest, most fun, and probably one of the best looking games in the Xbox 360 library. Now, while there are a few bugs, Redemption is of course a fantastic game that offers the Western experience we've all been waiting for. And frankly, upon learning that we're gonna get to ride once more in 2017, I guess I can say I'm glad to be back in the saddle again looking at Red Dead Redemption. Oh, come on, man. First episode back and you and these people don't expect me to make some sort of cowboy-related pun? Jesus Christ, don't be so moody. Hey, little Thulu, if you wear cowboy gear, does that mean you're ranch dressing? A cowboy walks into a German car showroom and says, "Audi!" Hey guys, what's going on? Smarty here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode of Last on the Bandwagon. It's been quite some time since I've done this, so it's nice to be back on the bandwagon. That was kind of redundant, wasn't it? Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, please do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button. Please give it a like or a comment or whatnot. Did you like it? Did you think it sucked? How dare you think it sucked? Anyway, please consider following me on all forms of social media. Otherwise, if you want to go the extra mile in supporting me, there is a Patreon page below. I'll talk to you guys later. This is Smarty, signing off. Have a good one.